Good evening, Mert. Here's your coffee machine. This is the Breville Barista Touch, model BES880 in brushed stainless steel. As you saw in the photos, this one is in very, very good condition. It was actually a trade-in, only about a year old. Used very lightly, so it doesn't actually have a lot of wear and tear, just a few light scratches and nicks. A few here as well. Zero issues at all. So in this video, I'll be doing a coffee. So I'll be testing the grinder, brewing, and testing the steamer as well. And also hopefully teaching you a thing or two about making a coffee. So on this model, I like to begin the session with a warm-up shot. And I'll teach you more about how to use the machine as we go. So you turn on the machine, you put your handle in there. I've got the double basket, the standard one. Lock it in a little bit, and then press a double quantity. This is going to give me 30 seconds of hot water right into the cup. That's going to warm up my portafilter, warm up my grip head and the cup as well. It's a good, overall a good step to do, I think, just to start things off. Now, I haven't made a coffee on this machine for a while, so I'm going to figure out the settings as we go through the video. You've got on the left, you've got grind size adjustment. Grind size will adjust how fast or how slow the coffee will pour. When you make a coffee, the time of the pump is constant. So for a double shot, it's 30 seconds. That is constant. It'll give you 30 seconds no matter what. What changes the quantity of the coffee is the grind size. On this machine, if you grind finer, or any machine really, when you grind finer, the coffee will pour more slowly. And so in the end of the 30 seconds, you'll get only a small amount of coffee. And on the other hand, when you increase the grind size, let's say if you increase the size too much, you'll get too much coffee into the cup at the end of the 30 seconds. So think of the grind size as if it's like the amount of the coffee coming into the cup. You also have a grind time adjustment. So on this model, you can select a single or a double quantity. I'll try this double on 20 seconds. Oh, that's very hot. So I like doing this because now the cup is basically 80 degrees, which is really good. Maybe 70 degrees, I don't know. I don't have a thermometer, but it's quite hot. If this was a coffee, it would be a hot coffee. Okay. So once you do the warm-up step, take out the portafilter, grab a tissue and dry the basket. So you want this to be dry before you start grinding. So this is the double basket. It takes 18 grams of coffee. Now, for my videos, I like to use a scale to measure the input and output, just to show you what a standard coffee looks like and what a good shot looks like, based on the weight. You don't have to use a scale with this machine, but to extract the best and most consistent results, I think scale helps a lot. I'll make sure it's on 0, and then I'll start grinding the coffee. I've got the Aldi Deluxe beans, the purple bag. I've been using them for a couple of days. It's a new experience. I still yet to find the perfect settings on my own machine. I've got the touch impress here on the left. I don't know if you can see it. But anyway, on this machine, I've got it on grind size 7 at the moment. I had a look just before the video at the texture, and I think it should be close to grind size 7. The correct grind size, I mean, should be close to 7. Impossible to know what the correct grind size is before making a coffee. So we'll make a coffee and check if it's close. And also, it will depend on each coffee. So if you go take this machine tomorrow, make a coffee on it with different beans, you'll probably get different results. If the coffee is really cheap or really old, you'll get a lot of coffee going through because because stale coffee will flow quickly, whereas fresh coffee will give you more thicker extraction. That's just from years of experience. Okay. Grind size 7, my scale is on 0. Let's see what 20 seconds gives us. So this is 10 seconds. And we're at 12 grams. So I anticipate I'm going to press it a little bit. I anticipate we'll have to do 15 seconds maybe. That's 15 seconds. That's 17.5. See, that's the importance of having a scale. I'll put it on 16 seconds so that you can get exactly, well, roughly the same amount as me. So I'm getting 17.5. If I top it up by another half a second, it should give me 18. So when you press once, when you press the button once here, when you put the handle and press it, it'll give you the timer, whatever's allocated on the timer. But if you hold it, so if you push and hold the button, it'll grind as long as you hold the button. If you hold the button for 20 minutes, it'll grind for 20 minutes. If you hold the button for half a second, it'll grind for half a second. No, that's exactly 18 grams. So, I said before you don't have to use a scale, and it does help when you do, but you don't have to. And I'll show you now how to know you have the correct amount of coffee without having to use a scale. So I'll get the coffee. Before I press it, as you see, it's like level with the basket. It's like towards the top. I spread it around just to make sure the pressures are equal once I press. So just make sure it's nice and flat. Then press. Give it a good amount of force, equal force all around. And this is exactly 18 grams. And the trick that I want to tell you is, you know you have the correct amount of coffee when the depth of the coffee is the same as this silver part. So when this silver part on the tamper disappears, you've got exactly 18 grams, or not exactly, more or less. But that's the correct amount that Breville recommends. That's the correct amount that you will find the best results with. If you put too much coffee, you will see the silver part. It'll be like this. You can't press it any further. It's too much coffee. Sometimes when it's so high, you can't even lock in the portafilter into the machine. That's going to affect your extraction. It's going to give you incorrect extraction, actually, because it's going to press the coffee into the machine when you lock in the handle, and that's just not good for the coffee or for the machine. And on the other hand, when it's too deep into when the silver part, or let's say the tamper itself, is too deep into the basket, you've got much less than 18 grams. So you'll get a watery extraction because there's so much space in there, and you'll get inconsistent results. So best to follow this trick. Either have a scale and use 18 grams, or just press the tamper and then check after you press that it's the same depth as this silver part. Cool. That's the dose. We spoke about the grind size, higher speed, higher quantity. Lower grind size, lower speed, lower quantity. It also affects the taste, but we won't get into that. And we spoke about the input. This is an 18 gram basket. We measured that using our scale. We want to do a 2-to-1 shot, a 2-to-1 espresso recipe. So for every gram we grind, we want 2 grams out. So I'm gonna lock in the basket, just in the middle position, make sure it's nice and tight. Get my cup, it's nice and warm now. I'll pour the water out. Gonna turn on my scale again, make sure it's on 0. Now we'll start making the coffee. It looks like it's left the menu. We'll make the coffee, like I said, 30 seconds for standard coffee. Hopefully in that 30 seconds we should get double of what we put in. We put in 18, we want 36 out into the cup. That's a double shot, 2-to-1 ratio. That's the correct standard. You don't have to stick to it, and it's not a science. So if you go a bit more or a bit less, and you find that it's still a good taste, do whatever makes you happy. It's just a guide that I like to tell people to start off. Then after that you can try whatever you wish. Gently put the cup in there, and then we'll start brewing. It'll also give us a timer, so we don't have to use an external stopwatch or whatever. Once it's at 30 seconds, I'll measure it, and hopefully we should get a good extraction. Interesting. It looks like it's flowing a bit quickly, but we'll let it go. It's coming out of both spouts. Not too bad actually, but maybe it's my beans, but I would probably grind one number finer and then try again. It should look like honey, like warm honey. Thick crema. In this case, let's see if we've got a decent amount of crema. I mean, not the thickest crema I've seen, so that tells me that the beans are probably not super fresh. Oh, we got a lot of coffee, so that was what was that? 60 grams, so a lot of coffee. If I were to do this again, I would probably grind at grind size number 5 instead of grind size number 7. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. I'll make my coffee on it tomorrow morning. I'm not going to record another video for you. I don't think I'll have the time. But I will make another coffee at grind size number 5. Maybe I'll take a photo of it once it's done. Hopefully it should be closer to 40 grams instead of 60 at grind size number 5. And I'll let you know. But anyway, this is, I would say, a drinkable shot. If you add sugar to your shots, or milk, or both, you won't exactly notice a longer shot or a shorter shot. Typically, longer shots, if it's more than that 40 grams I told you about, it starts to become acidic. And on the other hand, if it's less than that 40 grams, if it's at 30 or 25, it'll be more bitter, more stronger. So I guess it depends on what you prefer. Yeah, it's more like acidic, woody, almost tasty. Ahmed, do you want sugar? Ahmed?
What?
Sugar? Sugar? Okay. Cool. So now that this shot is finished, I'm not going to throw that out. I think it's still drinkable when you add sugar and milk to it. Was just asking my housemate. Cool. Milk. This is a semi-automated machine, so it's got the automatic milk frother over there. Here is your milk jug. This is a standard one that comes with the machine. It's got a minimum and a maximum. I'm gonna fill it up to between the minimum and maximum. I think the maximum is a lot of milk, so maybe it won't fit in that cup. I'm using full cream cow's milk right from the fridge. The colder the milk, the better. I mean, fridge-wise, not frozen. We don't want a frozen jug of milk. But if it's cold, it's gonna give the machine more time to incorporate air into it. So it'll actually be a smoother texture if you've got a milk coming right out of the fridge versus room temperature milk. You've got two modes. You can froth manually. So if you touch the button now, it'll start frothing. It'll give me a bit of water at first. So I'll get a tissue. You can just froth your milk like a barista, hold the jug, position the jug, create some latte art, very nice. I use my machine half of the time like that. My Barista touch and press actually has the same wand. Or you can use what the machine is intended for, automatic mode. We'll try that in a jiffy. Select your desired froth settings. Once you put it down, it'll allow you to select the milk temperature and the froth level. So it goes from, I think, 50 degrees all the way to 75. 65 is the standard. You've also got the froth level. It goes from 1 to 9. 5 is the standard for a latte. So on this machine, I'll keep the settings as is and I'll see what happens. Honestly, I'm not sure. I haven't made a coffee in a while, so we'll see. Looks good. Grab a tissue or a towel. The nice thing about this machine is that it's got an insulated one, so you don't have to scrub really hard to clean. You just give it a gentle wipe. Very nicely done, I think. I'll grab another tissue. Give it an easy one wipe with a wet towel or a tissue, and it's already clean. When you push it down, it will purge and pulse some water and air just to clean the holes. It's a smart feature, but I think it sometimes makes a mess. So I like to put a tissue just for the first second. And that's about it. It's nice and clean now. Ready to make another coffee. Oh, the only thing left to do is to test the hot water tap and clean. So I'll take this out and clean it. There we go, hot water tap working as intended. You can use this feature to, it's quite hot. You can use this feature to make long black coffees or tea bags or whatever. Warm up your cups, whatever. And at the end I like to flush to clean the shower screen and the portafilter in one step. Just like that. Yeah. 5 or 10 seconds should be more than enough. And once that's all done, just make sure you keep everything nice and make sure you don't burn yourself, but make sure you clean and dry everything so the machine doesn't stain and looks good for years to come. Very easy to use, as you can see. When you get the machine, you will have to learn how to tamp, how to select the correct grind settings. But now that I've shown you how to do that, hopefully it's less intimidating. That's very nicely textured milk, not too thick, not too thin. I'm going to swirl it around, as you can see, to mix it up. Then tap it on the counter to break any air bubbles. Oh, very nicely done. So we will take a photo of that because it looks really nice. And I'll show you what it looks like. The latte on your machine. I think that looks like a heart, but anyway, it looks like a thick, decent amount of foam. And that's not even on the maximum setting. If you go even higher, you'll get even more. That's a coffee on your Barista Touch. A latte that I'm gonna give my housemate. Looks really good. I wish I could have one, but I've already had a coffee today. Yeah, and if you have any questions or get stuck, please don't hesitate in asking me. Thanks for watching, and I will see you tomorrow morning. Thanks, Mert.